Okay, this is a frequency generator, and Mr. Putin the cat is investigating it. So, anyway, this is not what you really call a Rife machine. It's a frequency generator, and actually, I'll tell you where I got this. Now, I just want to point out, basically, this is almost like a zapper. Let me put it that way. Sometimes these zappers, they seem to work for some stuff. Just if you got something serious, don't depend on your life upon it. This was $400 complete with the foot paddles, the hand paddles, and all that type of stuff. And I'm also going to say how you could set it up other ways. Don't ever short these things out because, I don't know, that might screw up the machine or screw up the calibration or something. In other words, you don't want this metal to touch this metal. And just to actually, these are stainless steel, right? What you want to do is, they're stainless steel, that's what conducts the electricity, or the frequency. What you want to do is take a paper towel, wet it, fold it in half, wet it with tap water, so it conducts electricity. Don't use distilled water, use tap water. And the hand paddles are to be held in the hands, like in other words, you don't touch these, and also you would wrap them in cloth. But I'm going to give a demonstration using the feet. And, you know, like say you're going to experiment with this, use it for non-life-threatening ailments. Don't use it for life-threatening ailments. Also, you know, I know the big story about Roland Rife. The guy was a genius. He had higher-end devices. Plus, when he said he cured cancer, there's a gazillion types of cancers out there. And even the frequencies that are listed that supposedly have some effect on them, there's a lot of different ones. So you'd have to actually know exactly what type of cancer you had. Supposedly, even if the frequencies work, you'd have to be diagnosed with exactly the type of cancer you have. And, you know, it's not something to play around with your life. But this was $400 complete, the frequency generator. You can use it like a Hulda Clark generator. A lot of people don't know that. Hulda Clark, in my opinion, was not really that good. She died of cancer. She claimed she can cure all diseases. She said she can cure cancer in minutes, and she died of cancer. She seems to have done work good with the parasites. You could set this thing on 30,000 hertz and, in fact, have a Hulda Clark parasite zapper. See, that's one thing the zapper manufacturers that are home built don't want you to know. You could buy this, and it's the same damn thing. You know, they'll claim it's not as accurate, but what the hell. The other thing you could do is you could set up these pads and put them on each side of the torso, wear like a weight belt or a back brace belt, go through the torso. But again, you just use some alligator clips, but you'd make sure you put some tape over the metal ends of the alligator clips because you don't want those two touching together and shorting out the machine. So, I'll give you a demonstration on it and of a non-life-threatening illness, and you know, if you could say, like, if it doesn't work, it ain't gonna kill you. So I'm gonna do it on athlete's foot, okay? Very easy one. Actually, this is supposedly a decent frequency. So you turn the machine on. There's an on button. You could set the frequency with this knob like this, and it actually has, like, if you shift this over, you know, you can move it over like that and use the knob. Now, what you do, though, the simple way, is just dial in the frequency. There's like a consolidated frequency list. It's so complex, like I put it in a spreadsheet so you can kind of analyze things. So I'm going to keep it simple. If I use it, in other words, I'm not going to use too many frequencies. But anyway, you do is you can notice it's on sine wave. Now, I know if you look in Royal Rife, or the guy that he used square wave, and then some guy after him used sine wave. With this, you generally use square wave. So there it is, square wave. See, that's triangle wave, sine wave, goes back to sine wave. So it's 3 settings. It has another adjustment in here, but don't touch that. There's 2 other adjusters in here. You could, it's not a really, this is a very simple machine. And yeah, it's connected to the output over here on the right-hand side in the corner. But you set it to square wave, and then you dial in the frequency. So let's do like athlete's foot, something that's non-life threatening. So if it don't work, you know, you're not going to die. This is 4, 64, 64. hit shift, then hit frequency. So if I hit shift kilohertz, it would go in kilohertz, but it's hertz. You want to be for hertz. So then you put your feet on these pads, right? They're on your pads, right? And make sure these things don't touch. God. I moved the cloth over. And then you turn the output switch on, which now it's on. You see the green light. And here's the adjustment for the power. So you can turn it up, and you can turn it up where it's too high, it's too much tingling or whatever the hell it is. And you just turn it up where it's a comfortable level, and you just run it for, you know, a few minutes or so. You know, supposedly if this works, this is 464 hertz. Actually, that's one of the ones that probably, and you know, I'm talking about it like a non-life-threatening condition. So if you want to try this, it isn't like major bucks, you know. You got an athlete's foot zapper, and you also got a Hulda Clark zapper. And Hulda Clark, like I said, she died of cancer. She said she can cure cancer, so, you know, I don't know. Maybe, I think she did useful stuff. But, you know, when you overblow the claims, it makes it look like all the useful stuff you did is no good. That's my opinion on it. So, and the other thing is, you want to have, while this is running, you want to have your feet on here or your hands. You don't want to just like run it with no not going through the body. So in other words, when you'd want to turn this down or off before you remove your feet. So you turn it off or down or both, and then remove your feet. Because otherwise, you know, that's kind of sending a, you know, it's kind of disrupting the way this unit's going to work. And this is a cheap unit, but I think, you know, some people would say it's inaccurate because it's cheap, but it's, you know, probably not bad. I don't know. But 464 is a like a fungal frequency, so it's 465. Those are like, that's like a real common one. The other common ones are like for like a host of ailments are 727, 787, and 880. You know, they might do something, some overall thing. They might. I don't know. This is not like a Rife machine. It's sometimes you might think of it as one. It's a frequency generator. But you know, if you're into buying zappers and stuff like that, now this is not a Bob Beck zapper, but if you're into like Hulda Clark zapper, like if I wanted to like change this and I said, you know, turn it off and I said 30,000 for the Hulda Clark frequency 30. What the hell is it? 0. Excuse me. I can't see the buttons that well. Anyway, 30 point and shift and put kilohertz. That's 30,000 square wave. Turn it on. That's like if you're holding these, say you're using that, the hand things. That's like a Hulda Clark zapper right there. You just, so, you know, it's like having a bunch of zappers in one. Maybe that's what the hell you want to call it. So, but you know, the way I look at it with this stuff, I'm gonna give this advice out with this thing. This wasn't too much money. So if you find it doesn't work, you know, I'm using it on an athlete's foot, something non-life-threatening. I'm experimenting with it, right? I should turn it back to that setting. We'll take it off this Hulda Clark thing. Say for instance, it doesn't work. Well, you're out $400, right? It's not like you spent thousands and thousands of dollars and then also spent a lot of money on some person that said this and said that. In other words, if you're going to buy a Hulda Clark zapper, a lot of times those things cost you $150 to $200 anyway, right? I think, or something like that. So this is $400, and you got that, and you got other things. This fungal setting 464 is supposed to be like, you know, like funguses and athlete's foot. And also Canada is actually 465. 464, it's 465, kind of works on that. Supposedly. So, you might want to experiment with this for non-threatening, life-threatening things. Now, I want to say this, you know, somebody's looking at this video and they're looking up Rife or something and they're thinking they're desperate with cancer. I'm going to say this so people don't get ripped off. First, I don't know. I wouldn't use something like this for anything life-threatening because it's say the technology works. I don't think this is like up to par. It may. I don't know. It may be. I don't know. But I really don't know. But say you knew some expert in the underground alternative medicine world, and they say they got all this equipment and stuff, not endorsed by the AMA. I'm going to tell you this as financial advice so you don't get ripped off. Do it like this. Just like you're going to buy anything. See an attorney, go put the money in an escrow. And if this guy that says he's the expert on curing this and that with his alternative frequency thing or whatever the hell it is, he does not perform and it's not confirmed by a medical doctor, he gets none of the money and you get all your money back. Alright? I mean, you're not I know people are doing this type of stuff, but I'm trying to protect people's finances by giving that common advice. Because, the way I look at it, if some snake oil wonderful person, I have very little respect, because in the alternative world, they got a lot of high bucks garbage. It's usually the people who don't make money are the nicer ones. But say for instance, the guy actually does heal something. You want to have that confirmed with a medical doctor, and then after that happens, then the attorney transfers the money out of the escrow into that guy's pocket, because that's the way you should play it with any of these guys who are working outside the medical establishment, because don't trust them either. I mean, I'm of the belief that there's a lot of other things out there that haven't been explored that can provide much better health care for way cheaper. The healthcare system in the United States is getting clobbered by, the $300 an hour graph readers and stuff like that, chart readers, and, So, if you're desperate and you're going, you're looking at this video about Rife. This isn't a Rife machine. It's a frequency generator. But it's like a souped up zapper, The theory behind it is cool. I don't know how effective it is. So like I said, I'm giving you a demonstration on athlete's foot. But like I said, if you see this video or somebody's out there looking for cancer information, there might be somebody out there in the underground medical profession, whatever the hell you call it, probably knows some stuff. But I'm saying is to protect you, see an attorney, do not pay that guy a dime. Put that money in an escrow. And, you might have it set where if there's one confirmation the cancer is in there, you get 20% of the money. Check next year, the cancer still isn't there. He gets another 40% of the money. And then 2 years there after that, he gets the other 20%. And then, 2 years after that, then he gets the final 20%. How's that for a suggestion? Just to say, you don't even have to have it lump sum. You could do one check, he gets a check. In other words, you're protected that way financially. So, because I'm more in the financial world than the medical world, and I do realize the conventional doctors could be rip-offs. I know that, and that's why people are seeking out alternative stuff. But man, you better watch those alternative guys too, big time. So, in this thing, like I said, it's $400 for the whole deal. It comes with a book, a very interesting book. It's neat. So, and the theory is, say I'm using it on athlete's foot. The theory is if you spray it with some stuff, it gets to surface. Now, actually, I want to tell you about athlete's foot. What really works, in my opinion, is coconut oil. Coconut oil works better than any of that stuff they spray and stuff. And I run a lot and do a lot of stuff. So, I don't have that stuff anymore. So... But the coconut oil did it. But, the frequency supposedly can get deep into past where even coconut oil can go, right? So say it's under there someplace, it should be able to theoretically zap it. So, but, hey, it's not like, this isn't like major bucks. So, it's, on the other side of it is, some people say it's not as accurate, but I really don't know. You'd have to put it on an oscilloscope and see that if it's reading 464 for real, and But actually, some of these frequencies they use in list, some of the real common ones, because like I showed a list, there's like thousands and thousands and thousands. Some of the common ones, there's too many people have good feedback that the stupid stuff helps them in some ways. But like I said, you want to use it in non-life-threatening things. And if you're so damn desperate, really are desperate about something, and seeing an alternative person in this underground, take my advice on the escrow thing, because if you don't bite on that, that's telling me there's something wrong. That because if he knows he's going to work, and even if he doesn't know it's going to work, he shouldn't get paid if he doesn't work. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it with all these doctors. You don't get paid unless the person gets well. So that's the way I look at it.